episode 19 of the Sick Podcast with your host, That Leafs fan. I hope you guys are doing well, and I just want to take a moment to say thank you so much. Our past two episodes of each both smashed above 600 views, and that's a first for me. So thank you guys so much. For the Leafs, unfortunately, you can't win them all. But before we get into that, producer, roll the tape.
Turn up your volume. Because you're about to listen to The Sick Podcast. With That Leafs fan.
They score! They score! Holy Mackinac, they score! Morgan Riley! Mo Riley! The Leafs have won it! They're going to the second round! Do you believe this? Holy Mackinac!
The sickest Toronto Maple Leafs podcast. It's gonna be sick.
Welcome back to another episode, ladies and gentlemen. Unfortunately, we do not have a win to talk about or an overtime loss. This time, the Toronto Maple Leafs lose their first regulation game since November 25th, and it comes against the New York Rangers at home this time. The Leafs end up trading wins with the Rags. We ended up beating them 7-3 last week. The Rangers came back in this one, and honestly, you just can't win them all. We lost to a good team. The Rangers were the better team. I didn't think the Leafs had that bad of a game. It was a very good game up until the last 10 minutes where it kind of ran away from us, if you want to say. But I thought the Leafs had a pretty good overall game despite everything going on with the team. As you guys have probably heard by now, the Leafs have really been dealing with a lot of if you want to call it the sick bug. I don't know what there's sicknesses going through the roster. We saw Matthew Knies miss a game last week. We saw Matthews miss a game on the weekend. So there's clearly a bug going through the team, and they're not at their fullest of energy, and they're still finding ways. Unfortunately, it wasn't enough in this one. I wasn't honestly. I really wasn't mad about yesterday's game. It was just one of those times where we just got beat. We didn't play bad. We didn't play efficient. I thought Martin Jones gave us a chance to win. He wasn't the greatest, but in the first half of the game, he played very well. It's just one of those games where, you're not going to go 82-0 in a season, and you're bound to lose one. And this is their first regulation loss since they lost 3-2 to the Penguins on November 25th. We are December 20th. So that was nearly 1 month of constantly getting at least a point. It was a stretch of 9 or 10, 1-4 for the 15 games, and now we lost. So I'm really not frustrated. I'm not that mad about it. Let's get to the points of the game. Auston Matthews, speaking of points, speaking of goals, first player in the NHL this season to hit 25 goals. Now, remember when I said at the beginning of the year that Auston Matthews was going to step up to a level we haven't seen before? I completely stand by that. And this stat that I'm going to tell you is so stupid. It's so stupid. So Auston Matthews has 25 goals on the year. He only has 4 games this year where he scored 1 goal. He has 10 multi-goal games on the season. 10. You understand how dumb that is? It's almost like Auston Matthews doesn't know how to only score a goal in a game. It's either he doesn't score or he gets 2 or 3 or maybe even 4. Who knows? But he's been playing lights out. He was sick. He missed the game on Saturday against the Penguins. And I found out halfway through that one that he missed it. That was a dominant win over the Penguins. Very strong performance. Probably one of our fullest 60-minute performances that we've had, along with the one that happened with the Predators the week before. So that's why I'm really not a whole lot frustrated about this game. Like I said, we really just kind of lost to a good team after smashing the Rangers on home ice. I wouldn't say smashed us yesterday, but they beat us fair and square. They were the clear-cut better team in that one, and they walked away with the 2 points. And I'm just not mad about it. It was just a good hockey game, and we just got the shorter end of the stick. There was positives and negatives. Like I said, Martin Jones gave us a chance to win. Austin Matthews returned after missing a game with illness, and he picked up right where he left off, scoring two beautiful goals. The second goal snipe was quite literally, the way the puck goes around the top of the net if you're playing like NHL 23 or NHL 24. I know if you're a gamer, you know exactly what I'm talking about, where like you snipe it and it just does the whole wraparound of the net at the top and then like skips out. That was exactly the tying goal right away at the beginning of the third period by Matthews. And it was just a beautiful shot. Like I just watched that and I'm like, how do you do that? Like, how do you, where does that release? Where does all the power in that shot even come from? But it's Austin Matthews. And quite frankly, he is one of the best players and arguably one of the best goal scorers. Not even arguably, he kind of is one of the best goal scorers in the NHL. And it's for some time now. He is still on his pace. He might have even increased it. He might be on pace for over 70 right now. Is he going to get 70? We'll have to see. But he's got 25 goals in 29 games, 28 because he missed one. So that was a positive. Matthews, our best player, giving us a chance to win. Like I said, the health bugs have been an issue around the team. We saw Nyes dealing with it. We saw Matthews dealing with it. And you can tell there's a lot of players kind of going through it. Like they're able to play, but they're not 100% healthy. And look, honestly, being up in Canada, like even people around me regular day basis, like a lot of the flu, a lot of that like bugs have been going around and people just haven't been at their 100%. And that's winter. That's the way it is. Weather changes going from plus 10 to minus 8 in a span of 24 hours and then back up to 10 and then right back down to minus 15. It screws with your health and you're just bound to get it's more intense, but basically like an intense version of the sniffles, let's call it. And apparently there was even players like throwing up and all of that. So if you think about it, like if you're waking up today and you're throwing up, you're not going to work today. I'm sure there is at least 3 to 4 players on this team who threw up right before at one point during the day yesterday before the game started. And that's why like it's just you also have to add in that human aspect where it's like when you're going through something and you're not at your 100% and you give the effort you had yesterday, I'm not going to be mad about it and I'm not going to bash them. They've been on a tear lately, an absolute tear. And it was nearly a month in between regulation losses, which is absolutely stupid. This is the NHL. And to do that, they've been playing very good. So you know what? They deserve me not smashing them because there's nothing for me to say. Like I wasn't necessarily frustrated with yesterday's game because, like I said, they gave a good effort. The bounces, like the first 2 or 3 even goals by the Rangers, and credit to the Rangers when you put the puck on net, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. So if you put it towards the net, good things can happen. And there was just some bounces where it's like the second goal, even or was it the first, where like it bounced off of like 3 people. Martin Jones was looking that way and the puck was already in and he's like, wait a second. So like it was just one of those games. To me, what I really focused on was the effort level, the compete level, and the fact that they managed to keep that a game up until like the last 5 minutes. We took a penalty. It ran away from us, but it happens. It is what it is. We have the Buffalo Sabres tomorrow in Buffalo, I believe. This is an interesting game. It's going to be interesting to see how the Leafs answer the bell because, quite frankly, in the past, we haven't exactly always played the Sabres like very well. Either we do, we'll either get like a 6-2 win or we'll somehow lose like 5-1 versus them. It's very strange matchup with the Sabres. Hopefully we can answer back. We only have 2 more games leading into leading into Christmas break. We got the Sabres on Thursday and we got the Columbus Blue Jackets on Saturday. That game against Columbus should not be a write-off by any means. I would love to end on a strong note. And after last game's performance, even yesterday, actually, the Blue Jackets put up 9 goals against the Sabres, funny enough. That team can score. Can they defend? Not exactly, but they can score. So definitely not a team to write off, especially leading in. You want to go into Christmas break feeling good so you can enjoy the time with the family. You can really make the most of it. The best way to feel good is to get the win. So between the Buffalo Sabres and the Columbus Blue Jackets leading into Christmas break, I think these are two very important performances. Not necessarily for, well, obviously for points. It's not like we're not in a terrible spot. We're in a pretty good spot, and all points matter, of course, but it's more for the morale of the team. I think it's very important that they just give it all they got. Like I said, I know there's bugs going through the team. I know they've been on a great run, and you're just that run is eventually going to come to an end. Like everything that goes up has to come down. It's just a way of life. But they really, at the very least, just have to give it. I just want to see 60-minute or close to it efforts, and just the team trying. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm going to be looking for in the coming games leading into the Christmas break. Um, yeah, guys. I mean, there's really not a whole lot more to say when it comes to the games that have happened. I mean, going back a month ago, the annual streak this year was simply delayed. The Leafs started the season very mediocre. It was very bleh. They couldn't get it together. But what I've been noticing over this span of this streak, I would honestly say like the shift happened somewhere in Sweden. That's what I've noticed. That's where I saw Tyler Bertuzzi's game change. That's where we saw, honestly, over the past couple of games, especially, Max Domi has been a very, very pleasant surprise. Not, I wouldn't even say surprise. You know what? He was a playmaker, and the team is gelling right now. Like you can tell that the chemistries among the lines are starting to work. Marner's finding his game big time. He has like over 10 points since the episode where I called out all the people that said they wanted to trade him. So that's been a positive. We've been figuring it out in net despite Joseph Wall getting injured, not like Samsonov not being at full health. Martin Jones has been giving us a chance in every game he has started, so that's a positive. We're starting to get some of our injured defensemen back. Timothy Liljegren didn't have a great game, but he missed something it was since the game against the Bruins where Marchand just decided to slide his foot under the guy's body, and whoops, it was an accident. All right, I call bullshit, but don't want to get into that. So I wasn't too concerned about that. Like it's gonna take him some time. I'm more looking towards how he's going to be playing following the Christmas break. Now it's kind of more like just put in the reps, it'll come type of thing. But overall, the lines have been very fun to watch. The team has been fun to watch, honestly, lately. Like even things like the fourth line, like Bobby McMahon, he got his first. First against the Penguins, the third goal of the game, and it was a pretty good shot too. Noah Gregor, he's got rockets for skates. The kid, he really reminds me of Kasperi Kapanen and Ilya Mikheyev in the sense where it's like his feet move quicker than his hands and his head could like keep up with, if you want to say. But he is like the best out of those three to be able to score, if that makes sense. Like if I saw Ilya Mikheyev when he was on the Leafs, because he's going completely off with Vancouver right now, but when he was with the Leafs and Ilya Mikheyev went on a breakaway, I'm like, yeah, it's going to be a good chance it's not going in. Same thing with Kasperi Kapanen. He's going to fly all the way to the net, but once he gets there, it's not going to go in. Noah Gregor, at least I'm like, he could score. He has scored a few very nice goals too this year. So the fourth line's looking good. I've really been enjoying it. Kampf has been finding his game. So the Kampf, McMahon, and Noah Gregor combination I've really liked. I thought Matthew Nyes, man, I'm really looking forward to the years to come to have this player. He's just been like this guy. It's like the devil in the detail. That the devil's in the details. I forget what the saying is, but his stick checking abilities, his forechecking abilities, his protection of the puck is just oh, I love it. I love it. This guy's gonna be great. He's gonna be great. He's already good. He's gonna be way better. Give him some time. Um, Matthews, Marner, Nylander, Tavares celebrating his 1,000 point in front of the crowd. I was really hoping, honestly, that was probably the thing I was concerned about most. Was like, can we win this one for Tavares? Like he got his 1,000 point on Long Island versus the Islanders. We end up losing it. Now we do the 1,000 point like celebration in front of the fans before the game, and the Leafs just don't win. Like he can't catch a break, the poor guy. But hey, you know what? It was a really nice celebration. You saw his kids come out. You saw with the whole family. It was so cool to see like the kids with like the mini gold stick and John Tavares getting, because the NHL, every time a player reaches the 1,000 point milestone, they get awarded it's like a gold plated hockey stick. It is so cool. Like I was looking at that and I became a child. I'm like, I want one of those. I really want one of those. Like it was just beautiful looking and he deserves it. Quite frankly, there's been I want to say over 7,000 players that have ever played in the NHL. 98 people have ever hit 1,000. There was not even 100 players yet because Connor McDavid and probably Austin Matthews both going to hit it along with a couple others. But as of right now, there is only 98 players in NHL history to have hit 1,000 career points. And there's been like 7,000 people who've given it a shot, if you want to say it. So if you do those mathematical calculations, it ain't high. So it's a huge milestone. He deserved the celebration and the standing O by the crowd. And just that moment with his family, John Tavares, hats off to you. Great stuff. Just great stuff. I mean, he's done so much for the Leafs. There's been so many times where people talk about his contract and they're saying things like, oh, he's overpaid. He's this, he's that. Guys, at the end of the day, he is Mr. Consistency. The guy has 1,000 points in his career. He's still showing up big time for us right now. So I have no problem with it. I love John Tavares. Forget the money. Just enjoy the fact that he's here now because he packs a punch with having Austin Matthews number one, John Tavares number two, and that can be intertwined. I'm not mad about it at all. I'm just enjoying it because I've seen some pretty awful Leaf teams in my time. I've seen like Chris Versteeg be our number one player. I've seen Leo Komarov be the only player on this team be nominated to the All-Star game. I like, you know what I mean? Like we've seen some pretty, no offense to any of these players that I just named, but we've seen some pretty bad teams. And right now the team we have is far from bad. Far from it. It's one of the best teams we've seen over the last like 20 years. And well, with the core that we've had like since then, it's starting to gel now too. And one thing that I want to end this podcast on specifically is the grit factor. Oh my God, we've been dying. I've been dying to see this. The fights in front of the net, the fights after the whistle, the clearing the net when they try to come close to the goalie, and that we're seeing guys like Lagesson, we're seeing Jake McCabe. Oh my God, dude, I love you. Like, do things go his way all the time? No, but like this, he's just always like the physicality. I just love it. I love it. It's what we've been screaming about for years that this team hasn't had, and they have that. Like it's starting to come out. That like that for the team is starting to come out. We're seeing it in Bertuzzi. He's been playing like a dog. We're seeing it with Domi. He's been playing like a dog. Players that we don't expect in the lineup, even like Bobby McMahon's doing it. Like I said, Lagesson. There was Simon Benoit in there. There's like a lot of players that are really starting to like fight for to protect the team, honestly. And that's what we want. Like, it's not an easy game to play the Leafs anymore, and especially physicality. Like, they for once are going to wear you down throughout the game. And it's something I'm not used to saying because it just hasn't been a thing up until very recently. So that's been a positive as well. So like I said, overall, this game, I wouldn't necessarily call it a write-off. Obviously, there's things to fix, but you have to keep in mind the illnesses. They are human when you are not at your 100%. there's only so much you can do. The physicality and the protection by the team, like protecting each other, has been a very nice thing to see. Austin Matthews is completely stupid, and I don't know how he does what he does, but keep doing it. I love watching it. Martin Jones, pleasant surprise. Leafs get their first regulation loss in nearly a month. Don't worry, guys. I think this team is looking good. They're looking good, and it's starting to come together. Hopefully, we can end strong leading into the Christmas break. But we're going to be finding out starting with the game tomorrow against the Sabres. But that is going to be it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you've gotten this far, please make sure to drop a like button if you haven't already. Hit the subscribe. Leave a comment. Let me know. How are you feeling with this team? And what are you doing for the holidays? I want to know. I hope you guys all the best. I hope you. That doesn't even make sense. It's not English. Anyways, regardless, for episode 19, guys, that is it for today. Thank you very much. I love y'all. Stay safe. Stay humble. I'll see you in the next one. Go Leafs, go.
And that's a wrap. Hope you don't miss us too much until next time. Follow the Sick Podcast with That Leafs Fan on YouTube, Facebook, Google Play, and Apple Podcasts.